Hey, good afternoon fans, Stephen here with SPB. Alright, so as you can see the drywall has been patched in, so now it's time to tape it in, okay? So you have a couple options as far as tape goes. I like to use the mesh, which is this material here. It is self-stick, and it saves you a step instead of, if you're familiar with taping or mudding or anything like that, but the paper tape, you do have to coat the butt joint first for the paper tape to actually stick on. This you don't, there's an adhesive in the back. So I'll show you that in a minute how that all works out. So you have a couple options as far as the equipment that you're going to use. Personally myself, I like to use a taping hawk, which those of you who are familiar with the page know that I call mine the Bald Eagle, and Sally Eastman was kind enough to go ahead and do some decorative artwork in the back of mine for me. So you have this option. You can use the 6-inch knife, which I only use this if I'm doing inside corners along the walls and the ceilings. Primarily I use it to clean up the seams before I go ahead and tape, or to load up the hawk with the actual mud itself. An 11-inch knife, which you see a lot of guys do this combination. They have the 11-inch trowel and the hawk to apply the mud onto the wall. Me, what I like to use is a 10-inch knife and my hawk, and that's it. So we're going to get started. I always wear gloves because it makes a mess. These are my taping gloves and my painting gloves. Okay. So what you're going to want to do first is, I've already done it, but for educational purposes I'll do it again. I like to take my knife and just go along all the butt joints to make sure there's not any crud or anything like that interrupting, because what could happen is, while I'm going ahead and taping, any kind of imperfections will get caught in the mud, and it's not going to look very good, and you just have to keep going over it and going over it and going over it. So you wouldn't want to just take it on the edge and just go ahead and clean up everything. Any kind of stray fragments such as that, take them right off. And that's it. Okay. So today what I'm going to show you is how to tape a butt joint, which is what this is here, what this is here. Which differs from an actual seam, which is when you have the two factory edges together, those beveled edges that you see in factory finished edges. Here, since we were doing patchwork, there's really no factory edges here at all, it's all butt joints. So those are going to tape up a little bit differently. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and take your tape, stick it, and just center it out to the actual seam, and just go with it. What I like to do is follow it along too in the 6-inch knife, because that's going to help you actually cut the very end of it, just like that, okay? And then we start in this corner, work our way back in. There we go. Okay. Now that we've got that taken care of, you're going to take your joint compound. I use the lightweight, it's the one that's got the blue lid on it, and then it just dries a little bit quicker, and then you can use the heavyweight, which has the green lid, or if you want to get real technical, you can buy the powdered mix, the Durabond, but you have to mix that yourself. So now the joint compound itself has had a lot of air bubbles on it, so you want to just knead it onto whatever it is that you're using. Okay, so what you see that I'm doing now, okay, the mud itself, once you have it kneaded properly, you get all those air bubbles out, it will create suction onto the hawk, so you can actually put your hawk upside down. It's all about mud control. Okay, so you're not bringing the knife to the hawk, you're bringing the hawk to the knife, and you'll see what I'm talking about once I load it up. It's nice too, the mud's nice and loose, because I left it in the house overnight, so it's nice and room temperature. And that's that, okay? So just like that. Now what you're going to do is, there's a slight difference as far as the thicknesses here goes, just because it's an older house and it's all over the place. So I'm going to want to favor one side as I tape it. So I'm going to have to feather it up higher this way. So basically if this surface is higher than this surface, you're going to want to feather this way, favor that edge, and vice versa, okay? So I'm going to favor it going upwards. But that won't be until the second coat. I'm just doing the first coat right now. Okay. We're ready to go. Just like that, okay? So just load your wall. If you get some on the floor, it's all good. Okay, so what you saw me do, I'm obviously moving a little bit faster. There's two edges to this, okay? As you do your top edge, you want to hug that side to the wall. So what you're basically doing is bending. It's got a lot of flex to it, so you're bending that knife. So it can get a nice thin edge here, but then it builds itself up towards the center, and the same thing towards the bottom edge. And then you just evenly take your knife and pass it across the metal, okay? So I'll do that again to show you guys. Bring it across, leave it as it is. And across again on top, leave it. Now you're going to hug it. Now you're going to hug the top. See? There you go. Your butt joint's done. So anyway guys, if you have any questions, go ahead and email them in. And we will answer them as promptly as we can. And again, there's a lot of new fans that joined today and last week, so we do appreciate the support. So continue to tell your friends and sharing the page and all that. We really appreciate it. And don't be afraid to ask if you have any questions. Anything that we're doing here and you want to just know why we're doing it or how it's done, give us a call, okay? Thanks a lot, guys.